Hey guys, good afternoon. So thanks for uh, taking time for this session. So my name is Rishi Raj Singh Aluwalia, and I am the Director of Solutions Engineering and Success at a company called Agora. Right, so we are a real-time engagement platform which powers interactivity within your gaming applications. So before I jump into the topic of the day, which will be level up your social play, connecting gamers worldwide, uh, I'd like to provide you with some two quotes to begin with. So one is, if you've heard of the co-founder of Valve, so he mentioned a very interesting quote that gaming is not a solitary activity, right? Gaming is now become a social experience. When I say social experience, it is empowering the users to come together and connect at a global scale, right? And similarly, a firm designer from Pioneering, Sid Meier, he quoted that gaming is a series of interesting choices, right? So the choices we have today is obviously connecting, collaborating, interacting, so that we can make the social experiences far better in the gaming industry. So what we will cover today is the current state of gaming. So I'm going to go through some online statistics for online gaming, both at a global scale and with a special focus on India, of course, right? From here, we will focus on how Agora can help you significantly change the real-time engagement within your gaming applications, right? What are the channels available? What are the use cases? And that's part of the last part where I'll discuss the use cases, the success stories, and focus on monetization strategies, right? Because all the effort that goes into game development, the effort that goes into understanding the platforms should earn results in the long run. So this is the focus for today. So let me give you a quick perspective about the worldwide observations. So the total addressable market is huge and it's continuously expanding. So the total revenue estimation for this year is already at $27.6 billion at a global scale. We have online gamers which have spanned more than a billion users by 2027. Obviously, leading region is APAC with significant growth shown by the China region, by the Japan region, and obviously the Korea region, which have also adopted metaverse as into their gaming experiences. Uh, the only country which I would say is never behind any innovation or technology is obviously the US, but obviously that's taken a back seat once the population and the engagement came from the APAC region. The average revenue per user currently stands at about $23, and this is annual statistics that I'm talking about, right? So, and again, what I believe is that we haven't even scratched the surface of monetization or the revenue that we can generate per user. Now I'm going to look at some rather, you know what, simple or linear statistics. The CAGR, the cumulative annual growth rate in the industry, still is at at a single digit, which is 5.7%. Now, obviously, this has been affected by what's going on in the world, right, with respect to inflation, with respect to wars coming in. But the analysis that I see, or the forecast that I see, is it's going to be double digit at a global scale as well. The projected market volume is about $32.5 billion by 2027. And the user penetration rate, again, at a modest 14% this year. And it will be at 16% in the next 4 years. Now, hold on to these statistics while I discuss the India observations. So India, after China, Japan, Korea, is probably the most promising region in terms of growth in the online gaming sector. So right now, the total revenue estimation for this year is still at $1.25 billion. So it's already $1 billion industry. So I call the gaming industry in India already a unicorn, right? So it's already achieved that level of growth. The online gamers by 2027 is at 186 million. Again, if you compare this with the statistics around the world, almost 20% of gamers are supposed to be from India, right? Which is a very, very big statistics for the industry. The leading region at the moment is primarily the North region. I think that's where we have potential of growth, because the southern region, we also need to include the regional languages, right? Make those gamers more comfortable in the gaming applications, offer them a more comfortable experience. The average revenue per user is 1/3 of the global standard. Obviously, we are stingy in terms of spends. So $8 is still pretty good. So I think if you guys had a chance to hear the Lumikai guys in the first session of the day, so the sweet spot in Indian spending is still at 20 to 30 rupees per month if you want to convert a free user to a paid user, right? That's a good statistic to start with, right? Now we need to deep dive into this region and see that the CAGR for worldwide was a single digit, but the CAGR alone for India is at about 13%. Now this is where I think we will be game changers in the community. Apart from that, the projected market volume for India by 2027 is going to be around $2 billion. So I think we are going to grow at 100% in the next 5 years, which is, again, this is early analysis, guys, right? We don't know what the situation might be 1 year, 2 years down the line. But please relate this closely to the GDP. India is, again, the most fastest growing economy. Our spends have gone higher. We have a UPI infrastructure in place, which makes payments much easier, right? So I think this is going to grow at a double-digit growth year on year. The user penetration, so Jio introduced us to affordable bandwidth, affordable handsets, and that's where the user penetration increased from both the tier 2, tier 3, and obviously the tier 1 cities as well. So as we go deep into these analyses, we will realize that the spend capacity of India is increasing. We are a young population, right? 55% of India is still under 30, right? So we have the capacity, we have the talent, and that's where I think looking at these numbers, it is an opportune time to include real-time interactivity within all the games that we play. And I'm talking about multiplayer gaming here, because that's the industry that we are going to target. We have also seen a big spend on OTT streaming, right? Jio Cinemas might acquire Hotstar, right? So that's going to be, again, a game changer for the OTT industry. So this is where Agora comes in, guys. So since we have established that the growth in the online gaming industry is huge, and there's an opportunity for everyone, right? Not just the developers, not just the founders, but the users themselves who are creating content, user-generated content. Now, this is where Agora comes in. So Agora has been in the business for the past 9 years. We were founded in 2014. So our mission is to make real-time engagement ubiquitous, allowing everyone to interact with anyone, anytime, and anywhere, right? So your one-to-one use cases, your one-to-N use cases, your end-to-end use cases, all of these can be served by Agora at a global level. We are not utilizing the public cloud providers for our data center capacity. We have our own private data centers, which are more than 200 plus globally. And India alone, we have about 15 or 17 nodes serving the real-time traffic. From a customer standpoint, obviously the verticals that have shown growth is the gaming community, is the social community. And now these two communities are kind of amalgamizing, right? So it's the social gaming community which will have the maximum growth. And that's what is the opportunity for all of us in the room. We are a reliable platform, so we serve more than 50 billion minutes of usage. That's approximately 95,000 years, guys, right? So we serve that on a monthly basis, and obviously our customer base is growing. The most interesting part is I'm not sure how we got the NASDAQ listed as API. From a developer standpoint, API, I'm not sure how somebody missed that, but we grabbed that opportunity and we are listed on NASDAQ as API, right? Some customers that use us are Bunch, Pokerface, Ludo King, Super Gaming, and DKBZ. Now, let me just introduce the product portfolio of Agora in a layered approach, right? Where we begin, what we offer, what are our value adds, and what extensions can you easily integrate, right? So the industry itself is called the communications platform as a service industry, but we have transformed that into a real-time engagement platform as a service. So I spoke about our data centers. So Agora software defined real-time platform is what we call the SDRTN, which is our data center infrastructure, which is deployed all over the world. Our core functionalities include SDKs, APIs, UI kits, low-code and no-code solutions, which is part of our app builder strategy, where the developers have to spend very less time in customizing the use cases for in-game interactivity. From a channel standpoint, think about audio, video, chat, signaling, obviously the analytics, right? Where am I seeing good experience? Where am I seeing a bad experience? Where are the countries I'm penetrating? We talked about the user penetration rates globally and in India. Where are our users coming from, right? At the same time, interactive live streaming. So think about PK battles, right? Player kill battles where you have two influencers fighting it out, and their fans, audiences want to see that battle live, right? So it can be a watch party. So I'll deep dive into the watch party in the use cases slide. But 3D spatial audio, translation and transcription, breaking the barriers of language available to you in real time, right? 3D spatial audio giving you a delightful user experience, and noise suppression, suppressing all the environmental noises and ensuring that the gamer is undisturbed. From a platform standpoint, we are agnostic, right? So right from web, Android, iOS, Mac, Windows, Cocos, React Native as well, Flutter as well, Unity, Unreal, all of these platforms are supported. And we also have value-added extensions. So sometimes I feel the gaming community is shy to come on video, right? They're more comfortable with audio chat rooms. So in those cases, we also offer masks and filters, which give you a different experience, right? So if you're playing a game of chess, and if you want to have the mask of Vishwanathan Anand, you probably have that, and you hide your own face, right? But that creates an experience that is like no other. So we have Banuba, we have Byte Plus, Face Unity, all of these value extended partners offer those capabilities. And I think the next challenge for the gaming industry is going to be around content moderation, right? So how do you handle abuse within interactivity, right? So Active Fence is where we can do content moderation for image, audio, video, right? And it gives you a seamless connectivity. So this is how our ecosystem, which is tightly coupled, helps you in building community in your gaming applications. So enough about Agora. Let's discuss about the interactivity, engagement, and monetization. So since the gaming world is now transforming into social experience, so how do we convert the opportunity of interactivity into engagement, and finally engagement into monetization, right? So we need to have use cases which are near to the customer, right? So in this case, what I'm trying to say is, since we have this algorithm where we support all of these platforms, right? We have these value-based extensions. So in this case, what we are doing is we are where the customer wants us to be, rather than the other way around. So the use case that I want to discuss first is the basic use case of turning your gaming experience into a social experience. So as soon as you introduce audio chat or voice chat within your gaming applications. First of all, it ensures user stickiness. So like I quoted Mr. Gabby Newell from Valve, right, that gaming is not a solitary activity. Uh, More interactivity ensures that the user comes back to the platform. And in India, I think the best marketing strategy still is the word of mouth, right? We talk about what we like, right? And that spreads like fire, right? Pokemon Go spread like fire within a few days, right? Although the developers were working for decades on that, right? So this is where you can increase your daily active users, you can increase your monthly active users, you can, like I talked about watch party. So if you are streaming game tournaments live, be it any game, right? Cricket is popular in India, we know that. Football is picking up in terms of Indian Super League. We have Kabaddi owned by many Bollywood celebrities, right? So if you want to watch these together, you can do that via a watch party. By the way, Geo Cinemas introduced a watch party in the latest release of IPL this year, which was completely powered by Agora. And if you go to Big Boss, the Big Boss is streaming 24 hours live. That's again completely powered by Agora, right? So this is where I think PK battles becomes a great thing for monetization as well. Quizzes and poll. So analytics is again, so data transforming into money is what is the next trend, right? So you conduct quizzes, you conduct polls, you understand where should I pitch this game, which region has the maximum penetration, and then you can also introduce virtual gifting. The other thing is bring esports engagement to life. So I talked about PK battles in the last slide. This is where it fits more appropriately. So think about gaming influencers who have a big fan base, right? Their fans would be more than happy to have two players fight it out, right? And whoever wins, you can probably charge them through premium content, right? This will be an closed room battles, not available to everybody, right? But this is where you can also do merchandise listing. Like for example, right now the World Cup is going on, right? Every ad that I get is to buy merchandise. So fan code, if you go to fan code, they are selling merchandise like anything. If you go to Adidas, they are selling merchandise like anything. And by the way, I was not able to find the Adidas official jersey. They just have the fan jerseys available, right? So based on these content, based on these gaming activities, you can make those merchandise available as part of paid content. Then there are giveaway prizes and sell out of premium tickets as well. If you want personal shout-outs during live streams, that's another way. Like for example, I've seen that recently Bollywood celebrities have started composing personalized birthday wishes for their followers, right? Obviously, that's not a free exercise, guys, right? So that's going to be part of gaming applications. That's going to be part of multiplayer game tournaments. That's where you can monetize based on these. The last, again, I think this is, like, since we have only scratched online gaming as a whole, AR, VR is still very, very niche as we go. So if you guys watched IPL, they also introduced a device called GeoDive during that tournament. Again, a device placed at about $15, right? That's a good price point for the Indian market, right? So you create those experiences in AR and VR. You monetize through watch party, you monetize through virtual real estate, you monetize through predictions, right? Fantasy gaming is something that is very popular in India, right? Predict what will be the next run, or it will be a 4, 6, whatever it is. People like to do that while they are playing with their friends, right? That's another area. Teen Patti, poker, virtual casinos. Ludo King is another company which is powered by Agora. So the company name is obviously Gameshin Technologies. You have Winzo over here. They use Agora for all their in-game interactivity. And then I think the use case that I wanted to discuss is more on Elo Elo. So I think Saurabh Pandey is going to be here. And his session is about at 4:30 today. Right? So Elo Elo is our latest success story. So if you watch the last 2 weeks, or if you're following Elo Elo for the last 2 weeks, they introduced a game called Tol Mol Ke Bol, right? So it was a gamified version of guessing the product price, all right, which first of all drove daily active users. Second, it gave the platform an opportunity to have a celebrity, right, who has followers in millions, right? Third is where it also gave them a way to communicate with Rahul Dua, who was conducting that game, right? And the fourth one was obviously selling merchandise, right? Affiliate marketing is the other area of growth. Uh, Poker Face, again, the name says it, it's a poker gaming. Super Gaming has used us for a very, very long time. And I'll give you a very accurate statistics on that. So they increased their DAUs by 300% when they introduced interactivity. And that was just audio chat to start with. Later, they introduced video chat as well, right? The other areas of growth is obviously Bunch. And I'm not sure if you guys would agree with me, but I think I'll leave you with the thought here that since we're talking about so many interactions, so many social experiences as part of the gaming community, and gamers as a common practice are shy, right? So will gaming probably be the next level of growth or unlock the growth of dating or matchmaking, right? So you have a particular style of gameplay, right? You have a particular game that you like. So the analytics that is driving users to the platform identifies that and makes you connects you with people of like-minded, right? So that's where I think the next level of growth lies for the gaming community. And I'll leave you with that thought. And that's it from me. Thank you so much. Any questions, I'm happy to answer.
So when you were talking about the estimates of how big this industry is, like, have you incorporated like even including the mobile sector or like?
Correct. Correct. So the statistics I included were only for the online gaming, right?
Okay.
The gaming industry as a whole is
Okay.
actually probably more than $300 billion as an industry. But those are offline games. Those are single player games.
Okay.
But what I was referring to was only online gaming,
Okay.
device agnostic,
Okay.
right? So mobile, your laptops,
Yeah.
all those.
Like any kind of Steam games, like
Correct. Correct.
if you would compare between the mobile ones or Steam ones, which one do you think have?
It's again the mobile ones.
Mobile
The mobile
ones.
ones. I think the statistics that I missed probably here is
Okay.
that the
It's-
online gaming in India,
Mhm.
the mobile gaming is almost at 65%
Oh.
compared to the bigger devices in the market, right? And AR VR is probably at the single digit because right now I think the major concern with AR VR is the affordability.
Yeah.
To own those devices first,
Exactly.
right? And it's more for premium users rather than tier 2, tier 3 cities
Sure.
where we are trying to unlock the growth.
Cool. And that's my question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
So actually, what I wanted to check here, I know it might be a little different from the session that we're having right now, but I'm
No
sure you
worries.
will be able to answer that
Yeah.
with that confidence I'm asking. So what is the gaming industry doing for the children who are already inspired into game development?
Oh.
Right? So, I mean, I'm here for myself as well as my son who is in other sessions because he's into like, super excited of what is going on around. And he has so far published 2 games already. And he has a lot of idea on whatever you're talking about. So how do we give them right platform rather than they go into the regular education, which is like time waste for them, right? So great people and industry speakers like you, what are we doing, or do you have any idea what we can?
No, I think that's a great question to begin with. And I think we are doing very less, if you ask me, right? But I think the areas to concentrate here are, like for example, I'll break the question into 2 parts, right? One is the privileged kids who have access to education, right? Second is obviously the underprivileged kids who don't have access to education, let alone understanding the gaming industry as a whole, right? So for the second part, I would say that live streaming can be a changer, right? So when I talked about PK battles or gaming influencers who are streaming their battles live, so there are two ways to look at it. One way is obviously it's premium content for the user base that is paying for the content. The second is they can also generate donations. They can also generate some money out of those events, right? And those can be utilized for the underprivileged children and setting up game development centers. Like for example, when I passed out of college like 12 years back, there was CDAC, right? Center for Development and Coding, right? Similarly, I think we are not there yet. I don't think we have even started, but the opportunity is there, right? And like I mentioned, India is again a very young population. So instead of going through the traditional route of education and studying the same subjects again and again, identifying where the interest is and identifying them at a very young stage. So I think that's one way of looking at it. Second way is for obviously for the privileged people who have access to education. I think whenever you start a product, first of all, you need to understand what is the motive behind starting that product, all right? What age group are you serving? So I met the developers at Time Pass Games today, and we talked about Antakshari as a use case for these guys because they're only using audio chat, right? And Antakshari is something that everybody relates. If you go 20 years back as well, with Anu Kapoor leading that show, but how do you convert that into an experience on the online gaming community? I think that will pick up really well, because Antakshari, if you see, in the Southeast Asian regions, is called as karaoke, sing along. Right, but in India, if you want to relate to the audiences, it will be called Antakshari, right? So the motive needs to be clear. You also need to show some growth to the people who are funding you, right? And your monetization strategy should be different for both offline and online. And where do you want to be, right? Do you want to be a gaming company which is just focused on interactivity, but not on the value-added extensions, addressing the shy gaming community, right? So your motives need to be clear, and I think we can talk more after this session, and I can probably address some more questions that way.
Sure, and just on the same
Yeah.
forum, I want to propose this. Speakers like you, who definitely have influence in this world. So would you propose this kind of idea to the bigger forum, who can actually start something even for children? Children in the sense they are matured enough to be in the gaming industry. Correct. So that will actually amplify their
no, I definitely echo your thoughts there. I'll be honest, I did not think about it, but since you you've put that idea in my mind, so why not, right? I am definitely open to that.
Hello, this is Pawan. Actually, you said about content moderation, right? And Winzo is using that. So Winzo, yeah. So Winzo is a real money gaming industry, and it definitely requires the content moderation over there, because there is a chance of getting players making the fraud, doing the fraud, and with other players. So how are you moderating in that case?
So in the product portfolio I showed you, right? So we have a integration with Active Fence. So Active Fence is our extensions partner. So they have expertise in doing content moderation across images, across audio, and across a video, right? So how we do that is that they consume the custom audio and video from our SDK, all right? And they put it real time into their engines. And then they already have a library of, let's say, sexual references or abuses that are happening. Or let's say somebody's trying to tug somebody else, right? So there are AI engines already identifying that, right? And then within milliseconds, that user is banned, right? Or that user is eliminated from the game, or that user is completely blocked from the game as well. So that's how we do content moderation with the Active Fence integration. That's at a high level. Obviously, there are other things that come along with it, right? But content moderation, I think people are looking for online gaming community which are secure, right? If you talk about India or anywhere else, gaming is supposed to be fun, not stressful, right? So if there's no secure environment out there, then obviously people will not come back to your platform as well. So that's another area where the security officers in the companies are also focused at.
You mentioned about a lot of offerings in the social products, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to understand in terms of integration, is it like how the integration looks? Like, is it a separate integration, or does Agoda provides a kind of an entire suite of the social products that basically the game or the companies they can integrate with?
So we actually provide both, right? So let's take a scenario, right, that you want to go in a phased manner. So if I give you a complete pre-packaged bundle, that won't really work for you. So we are across both the ways of integration. So we provide SDKs for audio separately, video separately, signaling separately, notification separately, chat separately. But if you want a bundled offering as well, we call that the scenario API. So with Scenario API, we have pre-bundled APIs and SDKs for a specific use case. Like for example, you just want voice chat with audio moderation, right? So we bundle that into a single package. So the developer does not have to go and look at multiple documents. He has one way of doing that. The other way of looking at is that the low code and no code solutions, right? And the UI kits. So for example, if you don't want to develop anything from scratch, right? You already have a UI kit available from us, which provides you the basic UI for a gaming setup or for a social setup. Like for example, the virtual events platforms, AirMeet, Hubilo, they use Agora in the backend, right? So they have their own UI, but if you're not even comfortable with your own UI, we can provide the UI for you as well. And then there are options to navigate the interface as well. So we are across both the methods. It's where you're comfortable with, right? And what are your go-to market timelines? Sometimes the customer is in a hurry, right? So they want UI, backend, everything from the provider, which we can do. But sometimes they say that we have a great UI team, right? And I'm with them. They have a great product team. But all they need is these channels to communicate, right, and a reliable platform in the backend so that they don't really get into audio freeze rates, video freeze rates, and something that is available across all devices. So yeah, just to answer your question, we are available across all the frameworks that you can think of.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. You start data statistics. You talked, right? Do you did any research or any survey based on?
Yeah. So basically, the data I presented in the first few slides, right, came from a source called statista.com. All right. And these are like research organizations which are actively doing research in this field. That's why I said that I only presented the data for online gaming, because gaming as a whole industry is much bigger than the numbers that I posted over there, right? But online gaming and with the potential of interactivity is where I focus those statistics on.
Yeah, like you have said also that Agora has the analytics. So is it Agora analytics also compromises that research, or is it totally different?
I would not be because the analytics that we provide are per customer. Like for example, you have your own gaming application, right? You would want to understand your audio freeze rate, your channel consumption, your video freeze rates. Where are the users coming from? Is it India? Is it Vietnam? Is it Nepal? Where is the growth potential, right? And how to troubleshoot a call. So for example, if your users are complaining about no audio or audio crackling issues, so where to look within the analytics tool that Agora provides. So the analytics tool has a module called Call Inspector. So within that module, you can search for a channel. Within that channel, you can search for the user who reported that issue, and then understand if his network statistics were good, was he on a device which was capable of streaming or playing that game, right? And then come to a conclusion that this is why the user experience got affected. So we provide that deep level of analysis within the analytics that we offer. The customers, however, have the opportunity, if they want to use that analytic data or distribute that analytic data to firms like Statista or Gartner or any of these, and then come up with the industry trends. I think it's definitely done, but obviously it's a contractual engagement that the customer and the research firm needs to get into.